It's gold, Jerry! Netflix has signed Seinfeld and a bunch of other A-list comedians to corner the stand-up market. The Hustle, Thursday, January 19th, 2017. Comedians on Netflix getting paid. On Tuesday, Netflix announced that it had signed a production deal with Jerry Seinfeld, which includes 2 exclusive stand-up specials and both new and old episodes of his show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. This comes just days after they got Amy Schumer on board for a special of her own, and just months after Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle signed up for multiple stand-up exclusives. Expensive, but effective. Chappelle and Rock will make $20 million per stand-up special. No word yet on Seinfeld and Schumer, but one would assume they'll get paid a similar, if not equal, amount. Are these jokesters really worth that much paper? Absolutely, and here are 2 reasons why. Number 1, even if all these specials bomb harder than Jonah Hill and 22 Jump Street, Netflix still gets tons of press and new subscribers. Take Chappelle. This dude hasn't done a comedy special in 12 years, so all of his fans will surely be tuning in. Don't believe us? Well, when he returned to TV in November to host Saturday Night Live, he delivered the highest ratings of the season and the best 1849 ratings for the show since 2013. Number 2. By signing these 4 deals, Netflix not only expands its comedy lineup, but also steals some of the biggest names in the industry away from HBO, one of its largest competitors. Chris Rock filmed several specials for the premium cable channel. Chappelle did his first ever stand-up special for them in 2000, and last year, Schumer won an Emmy for hers that Rock directed. Now, Netflix is outbidding them and everyone else, en route to becoming the destination for comics. Oh, and did we mention they now have 94 million subscribers following their best quarter for growth ever? Things are going well. Heck, even Newman's signed up. I'm Rick James, bitch! Slack wants to take things outside. In the fight against oppressive email chains, it seems Slack's greatest threat is itself. As the chat platform becomes more complex with team channels, private messages, and an ever-growing list of slash commands, it risks becoming the very thing it rails against, a cluttered messaging system. So, to keep channels clean and simple, Slack has unveiled threaded messaging to encourage teams to take their tangents outside the group chat channels to a place called the Flex Plane. What the is the Flex Plane? Great question. It's a side panel to the right of each channel with additional tools and information. According to Slack, you'll be able to start a new thread by clicking a button, watch the GIF if you're confused, next to a teammate's individual message, and get whisked away with them to a nested or threaded conversation based on that specific topic. I'm gonna need an example. Sure, say you and the marketing team are talking about your typical business stuff, briefcases, important faxes, PowerPoints, etc. Then, out of nowhere, Tom makes a terrible joke, 310 pun. You need to tell him how awful it is, but instead of burying the group in all your sick burns, you can just pop into a thread and start roasting the shit out of him. More constructively, you can also use threads to ask clarifying questions about a particular project or collaborate to solve a problem, but mostly the roast thing. Damn it, Tom! Last call for lawsuits. In the last days of the Obama administration, 2 huge government agencies are bringing the hammer down on Silicon Valley, but it may be too little, too late. The lawsuits will pit the Federal Trade Commission against Qualcomm and the U.S. Department of Labor against Oracle before the changing of the guard. Here's a quick rundown of what's at stake. First up, the FTC versus Qualcomm. The FTC claims that the mobile chip maker strong-armed Apple into using its hardware, and as a result, its competitors like WiMAX are now sleeping with the fishies. According to the suit, Qualcomm essentially bribed Apple with billions in discounts, provided they maintained exclusive rights to their business. If proven, this is a textbook example of an illegal monopoly. It's also a huge reason mobile providers like Sprint got burned after making huge bets on the WiMAX network, rather than the now dominant LTE based on Qualcomm technology. Next, the Department of Labor versus Oracle. The government body is now suing Oracle for discriminatory employment practices, including systematically paying white men more than women, African American, and Asian workers in the same role. As punishment, the Department of Labor is calling for the cancellation of all Oracle's federal contracts. Unfortunately, these only represent a tiny sliver of the company's revenue, mere millions of their $37 billion in 2016. Plus, Oracle had already begun the process of cutting down its government contracts on its own, presumably because they're causing them more trouble than they're worth. Social media. Gotta love lawsuits. This just in. LinkedIn's got a new website. This morning, LinkedIn unveiled its new desktop redesign, which aims to reduce the clutter by making it as simple as possible to move around the website. There are now 7 sections to navigate through: Home, Newsfeed, Messaging, Jobs, Notifications, Me, Profile Page, My Network, and Search. And newer projects like LinkedIn Learning, which the company hopes to push much harder in the future, are much easier to locate. As for private messaging and the news feed in particular, the company made some significant changes that make it feel eerily similar to Facebook. For one-on-one conversations, there is now a real-time messaging interface at the bottom of every page, just like Facebook, plus chatbots to suggest conversation topics or how to break the ice. Then there's the newsfeed, which will feature a lot more content aimed specifically for you, both organic and sponsored. Yep, LinkedIn's ramping up its ads game and will be collecting more data on you to do so. Alright, so here's our take on this. By making itself feel more like Facebook, it's clear that LinkedIn wants users to visit the site more frequently and stay there for longer periods of time. In other words, the company's ready to evolve from that place you go to stalk a potential hire or congratulate Kevin on his work anniversary. Yeah, Kevin! To a place where you actually hang out, read articles, and engage with fellow professionals. Will this strategy work? Tough to say. On the one hand, we could all use a cat video-free newsfeed. On the other, do we really need another social network to browse, swipe, and click our lives away on? We were kind of enjoying LinkedIn as a check-it-once-a-week kind of thing. That said, the nagging emails, people are looking at your profile, we're getting to be a bit much. So, if this revamp makes LinkedIn less desperate for visitors, we're all for it. Social media, seriously, chill with the emails. Things you should attend. Pizza and 40s free. Attention San Francisco readers, our next Pizza and 40s event is happening on Tuesday, January 31st in Soma. We're thrilled to have best-selling author, entrepreneur, and investor Scott Belsky joining us. Would love to see y'all there. Things you should read. Our interview with Ramit Sefit, also free. Last week, we sat down with the founder of I Will Teach You to Be Rich to talk about scaling a business. Entrepreneurs, you'll want to read this. Non-entrepreneurs, you'll enjoy it too. Edumacate yourselves. Things you should use. PitchBot, free. PitchBot is a bot, that you pitch your startup to, and it either gives you an offer or passes. It also gives you feedback on the pitch. Just select who you want to pitch, angel investor, incubator, seed firm, or venture capital firm, and get to chatting. Simple, fun, and useful. Go on, pitch the robot. Sponsored. Things you should try. Soothe, $25 an employee. Meet Ben. His company used to do happy hour on Thursdays. It was fun, but Fridays sucked. Then his company switched to Soothes, in-office massages, and now Fridays are my favorite day of the week, he says. Ben also got rid of his chronic back pain, realized his passion for healing, and is now living large as the personal massage therapist to Hollywood's brightest stars. Do your back and neck a favor. Sponsored. Things you should install. Retarget links. $50 worth of free ads with Hustle code. Link retargeting is a new concept that allows you to show a banner ad to anyone that clicks your link, regardless of whether they visited your site. In other words, it's officially the easiest way to show someone a banner ad, and without question, the future of retargeting. 100 coupons available till January 31st. This edition of The Hustle was brought to you by Taylor Stitch. These pretty much fit. You tell yourself looking in the mirror. After all, it took you 30 minutes to find a parking spot at the mall. You got yourself in $20 deep at Auntie Annie's Pretzels, and there's a pile of about 10 pairs of jeans high on that little shelf in the dressing room. So help you, you're leaving this place with a pair of pants, and you're going to make these work no matter how baggy the crotch is, but you shouldn't have to force it. Your clothes should just fit the way they're supposed to. Taylor Stitch men's and women's clothing fits like you just had it tailored from some of the world's best fabrics, without the pretentious price tag. Oh, and if it doesn't, you can have it actually tailored in one of their stores for free. And since most of their clothes are handmade in San Francisco by real adult humans, you can be sure no stitch or hem is overlooked. The pockets are lined with little maps of San Francisco, for goodness sake. That is some elf-like attention to detail right there. Plus, if you hate the mall like us, you can order from their online store and become timelessly stylish in 2 to 4 business days. So put the saggy pants down, friend. They're not worth it. The Hustle. Subscribe. Jobs. Advertise. Ambassadors. Events. Kendall. Robots love my pitches, Baker. Writer. Lindsay Quinn. A haircut that turns out just like you pictured. John Havel. Backseat editor. Les Offenbach. Staff barber. You opted in by signing up, entering a giveaway, or through Divine Intervention. 1381 9th Avenue, San Francisco, California, 94122. In the United States, 415-506-7210. Never want to hear from us again? Break our hearts and unsubscribe.